everyone. It's time for another hour of exciting wrestling from Hollywood Legion Stadium, wrestling capital of the world.
And here in the ring at the Hollywood Legion Stadium, you see one of our tag team combinations, but let's get to with Jules Strombo for the introductions.
This is your main event of the evening, a tag team match, best 2 falls out of 3, with 4 15-minute rounds, Australian style. Introducing in the black corner, first, weighing 240 pounds, from St. Louis, Missouri, Warren Bockwinkel. His partner, weighing 223 pounds, also from St. Louis, Missouri, Freddie Blassie. Their opponents this evening in the white corner. First, weighing 240 pounds, from Minneapolis, Joe Pozendak. His partner, weighing 240 pounds, from far off Tokyo, one of the greatest wrestlers ever to come out of Japan, Mr. Moto. For this tag team match, we have 2 referees, Pete Maringer and gentleman Joe Varga.
Out come the wrestlers for a conference, and 2 referees, as announced by Jules. Pete Maringer, the referee on the right side of the picture, is the former University of Kansas All-American football player and an Olympic wrestling champion, representing the United States successfully and winning a championship in the Olympic Games 1936, which were held here in Los Angeles. Now, Joe Varga, one of our veteran referees in Southern California, in for the instructions also. Mr. Moto hasn't yet divested himself of his regalia, and Mr. Fuji, his valet, waits beside him there. Will, of course, take the various things he's wearing that he couldn't very well wrestle with. The champ with a handshake, but Mr. Moto will have no part of it. So Warren Bockwinkel and Freddie Blassie retire. Off comes the haudi, the short kimono-type robe that Mr. Moto wears. He has a brand new fan tonight, sent to him by an admirer here in Southern California. And now the gaitas, the wooden shoes, are being taken off by Mr. Fuji. And the tabis, the peculiar stock, you know, that the Japanese wear, with a special compartment, as it were, for the big toe. So Mr. Moto dismisses his valet and bows, and then accepts an American-style handshake from the champ. And the champ, obviously, is going to be the one to start for this team. And a friendly, happy-type conference here. And Mr. Moto is a little disconsolate with some of the fans. There's the bell. Freddie Blassie from St. Louis coming out against the champ, Joe Pozendak. It's a rough beginning on our tag team match here. Champ moves in again, a specialist at punishing arm holds. Off balance in the ropes. Mr. Moto in complaining about something. I don't know what it is, but he's unhappy. Meantime, top wrist lock by Freddie Blassie, and we may have the first takedown here of our Hollywood Legion Stadium main event. Reversal by the champ, and it looks like he can get it. Or can he? Yes, he can. The whole way out there in the hand. Look at this. Freddie Blassie scooting on the back of his head. I wonder how he can keep that much hair. The champ on your left. The man who, with the short haircut, real short. Caught in a full Nelson, and Warren Bockwinkel outside the ropes in the foreground here. Attempted to slam away, but changed his mind about it. An elbow smash by the champ on the break. Didn't seem to hurt Blassie too much. The champ sneaked it in, and here's the champ going to work on the hand. A real test of strength there. And he's come up with one of the holds that he likes. A lock clear out on the fingers and pressure underneath the arm. Remember, they're wrestling 4 15-minute rounds. He slammed a rabbit punch to the back of the head, perfectly okay, but it spoiled the champ's hold. Now he's got a forward quarter Nelson, and he's trying for a takedown here. May have a smother hold, but the referees see it okay, and there is a takedown. The champ with the hold. Quarterbacking session here. Mr. Moto tells the champ what he'd like to see him do. Champ, of course, lost the advantage there for the moment, and an exchange of forearm smashes, and the champ is getting the worst of it. Look at this. The champ, does he want a tag? Mr. Moto doesn't care to take a tag. He doesn't want in there against Freddie Blassie. The champ says, all right, we'll go again. That knee in the midsection slowed things up, but with Blassie on the ropes, referee's order a break. Look out. Mr. Moto is getting a warning for a rabbit punch that he dropped in there, and another one. 4 15-minute rounds, or less, of course. If there is a fall, the round ends at that time. The first team to win 2 falls will take the match then and there without going the full 4 rounds. There's a 2 count on the champ and the Indian Deathlock, but a little slam in there first. Freddie Blassie hasn't really put the Indian Deathlock to work. Joe Varga, the referee, checking shoulders. There it is again. Freddie Blassie's hold is a good, solid one, but the punishing part of it hasn't really been put on yet. If he straightens up that leg, then he really has a chance. Look out, Mr. Moto sneaking into the ring to spoil things and give the champ a chance to reverse. But, of course, he won't be allowed to keep the hold. Chin-locking each other now. Into the ropes. Oh, look out. Almost slammed Mr. Moto's head right back against the top of the champ's head. Warren Bockwinkel again. Body lock with Mr. Moto. And it must have hurt the way Mr. Moto sounded off. Freddie Blassie against Mr. Moto and those peculiar wrestling trunks of Mr. Moto's, which are bright yellow and scarlet. A takedown. Mr. Moto with a key lock, top wrist lock, got a 1 count. But that was all. Mr. Moto still keeps that key-locked top wrist lock. A shout from the champ. Break his shoulder again because Warren Bockwinkel injured his shoulder very badly here a short while ago. Wrestling Baron Leone, one of our previous cards. Up comes the champ. And let's see whether they're going to allow that hold to be kept or not. Our ringsiders in an uproar. The champ moves along to see if he can do anything to help out Mr. Moto. A reversal. Broken. Wait a minute. Let's see what's going to happen. They won't allow Mr. Moto to keep the hold. Warren Bockwinkel reversed beautifully with the head scissors, but the champ from outside the ring broke it in our tag team match. A nice reversal, and Warren Bockwinkel ready to throw a punch in there. But you saw Mr. Moto took the first train out of town on that one. He's back now to file a brief about this. Time running along here in our first 15-minute round. We haven't been particularly close to a fall. Moto trying to take Warren Bockwinkel over to the meat grinder. Wants to lead him over to the champ, who's got a clenched fist. And the champ is tagged by Mr. Moto and is in there legally and okay. Freddie Blassie has come over to see if he can help out too, but he's being chased out of the ring. There's a count going on the champ, and Bockwinkel goes over on his knees, scooted over there, and in comes Freddie Blassie to go to work on the champ again. And work is the word. And one for Mr. Moto. Look out. Freddie Blassie got himself caught in trouble in the meantime. Break ordered here because Freddie Blassie's head is on the ropes. Mr. Moto slams a fork judo cut at the throat from outside the ring. Freddie Blassie taking over once again. Mr. Moto holds him by the chin, that's all. Then breaks on orders. Out comes Freddie Blassie. Spells it B-L-A-S-S-I-E. Look at those forearm smashes, and the champ has had enough of that. Or has he? Well, he's back for more. Judo cuts to the side of the head, over the ear. And forearm smashes. The champ is the one that's being softened up tonight, which is unusual. He usually does the softening up. And a tag. Warren Bockwinkel comes back in, replacing Freddie Blassie. And Bockwinkel is ready to work on the champ here as the first round is drawing to a close. A punch in the midsection, a rabbit punch, and the complexion of the match changes entirely here as the champ is working on Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel in real trouble. Champ taking that leg on the ropes, wants to cannonball on it and drops a knee instead as Mr. Moto tries to hold it there. Step over, toe hold by the champ. Now the champ goes into his punishing tactics here. And as he holds the ropes, he tags Mr. Moto at the same time and wants Mr. Moto to come in and get that hold. Freddie Blassie's come into the ring also. They'll run him out as Mr. Moto has a step over toe hold and is using the ropes here again. And the referees are going to have to stop that. But a tag in the meantime by Mr. Moto, and the champ comes in as Warren Bockwinkel tried to make it to tag Freddie Blassie and could not do it. Same punishing hold. Here's the champ. One of his specialties. 2 and 3. And the first fall, the first round ends automatically at this point.
In the time of 11 minutes, 50 seconds, with a reversed upside-down toe hold, the team of Mr. Moto and Joe Pazendak, the winner.
The whistle sounds. The rest period is over. Round 2 of our main event comes up here. Another 15 minutes or less. You heard the time from Jules Strongbow as the first fall went to Mr. Moto and the champ, Joe Pazendak. Off balance the ropes. Ooh, Bockwinkel caught with a hard slam there. A judo cut the throat. Mr. Moto is insisting he broke as told and then started the action again. So out comes Mr. Moto. Off balance once again. Let's see, the break is all right. Everybody's satisfied. And a tag. No, they won't allow that tag because the champ was not in the corner. He was way down there. So Mr. Moto has to get back in. The champ must hold that top turnbuckle. Now he can take the tag, but apparently he doesn't want to. Champ grabbing that free hand of Warren Bockwinkel. And fork judo cuts by Mr. Moto as the action picks up once again. And Bockwinkel is in big trouble here from these fork judo cuts to the throat. But a tag will bring in Freddie Blassie to replace Bockwinkel, and here comes Blassie. Look at those slams. Mr. Moto again. He's catching it, and how? Blassie is on top for 2 and 4. I think it was only 2. That's right. Up comes the knee to spoil things. They saw the champ ducking away, and he's hurt from a kick in the midsection. Knee drop by Freddie Blassie on Mr. Moto, who would like to tag the champ. The champ does not want to come in. He will not tag. He is not going to relieve Mr. Moto. He's going to make him stay in there. As Freddie Blassie grabs the champ and pulls him in. I don't know. I don't believe the champ is in there legally, but Freddie Blassie just pulled him into the ring. He is in legally. He got to join whether he wanted to or not. As Freddie Blassie goes to work. And listen to this crowd here at the Hollywood Legion Stadium. They're screaming for a finish to this one. They want to see Blassie. Blassie's going to give Bockwinkel a chance. He wants to come in. He's had his troubles with the champ tonight. Forearm smashes in. Is he going to try to put the clincher on him or not? He lifts a body slam. It's a dilly. The champ is in real trouble. Here comes another one. Down again. A tag, and Freddie Blassie will come in. Try to finish him off, I think. But you don't know who it's going to be. The more punishment of the fall of the back. Those double-handed slams by Freddie Blassie and kicks and everything else. The champ in trouble. Freddie Blassie trying to finish it off. I'm sure now, though you can't tell which one of these young men has decided a back drop on top. 1 and 2 and 3. And the winner, Freddie Blassie, as Warren Bockwinkel ran across the ring to keep Mr. Moto from coming in and spoiling the hold. It's a fall apiece. And the second round automatically ends here. And now let's hear from Jules Strongbow.
With a reverse in the time of 7 minutes, 19 seconds, with a reverse spinning neck breaker, the team of Bockwinkel and Blassie would take the second fall.
And so the second fall of tonight's main event match goes into the record books. Round 3 coming up. Ready to wrestle. As I started to say, it's a fall apiece, and if we get a fall in this third 15-minute round, that will be the end of our main event right then and there. Chinlock by Mr. Moto, giving Freddie Blassie some trouble. He's had to lose his hold to get himself out of this. Mr. Moto can, of course, now move to his famous sleeper hold, but instead he's just putting on a neck breaker. Thinks he's found a weak point here in the defense of Freddie Blassie. Freddie Blassie trying to move toward the ropes, and the champ was being held off so that he wouldn't go down there and give Mr. Moto any help. Offer of submission declined so far. Freddie Blassie comes up with his own lock feel, and he's topside, but Mr. Moto had his legs under the ropes and then pulls him back in. And then gets him over and decides that head scissors is more than he wants to handle. Back comes Freddie Blassie quickly again with his lock feel, and again with the head scissors. Figure 4, and look at him hook that chin. Mr. Moto may have a chokehold here. Freddie Blassie was pointing to it. The champ is trying to pull away the officials so they won't even look to see. Well, Mr. Moto is not yet putting on his sleeper. But the hold is going to be broken because it was on the throat. So a tag. The champ wants to come in. He has a plan. Let's see if he is a man with a plan. Now we're going to be buddies. Everybody likes everybody here tonight. Just wrestling, he says, nothing else. So they chinlock each other. 4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes left to go in this third round. The champ starts that punishment on the shoulder. That's the shoulder that Bockwinkel hurt, I believe. And the champ knows it. And that is, of course, why the champ is picked on that particular shoulder. Bockwinkel complaining. The champ wants to drop in with a knee. Wants to do anything he can to soften up that shoulder. Yeah. The offer of submission has been put in by one of the two referees, Pete Maringer, kneeling there. No submission yet, though Bockwinkel is in a great deal of pain as the champ punishes that shoulder of his. Still tender from an injury. Bockwinkel got up, couldn't stay up. This is the third round with about 2 minutes left to go. It's a fall apiece. Each team got a fall in the first 2 rounds. And, of course, either one that gets the fall now ends the match right then and there. But if there is no fall in this third round, we'll wrestle the fourth and final round, or at least part of it, until there is a fall. Champ still trying to work on that shoulder, but Bockwinkel has got himself out of trouble, and look at him feel that champ across the ring. Goes Bockwinkel, drops a knee in there, drives knees into the back. He's after that match right here and now, trying to get our main event. The champ wants to tag. Mr. Moto stays away from him. Now does. Finally takes the tag, but he was reluctant to do it. So Mr. Moto comes in to take over as the champ stays in there, and they finally take him out. Freddie Blassie walks in, and no, he won't be allowed to stay, I don't think. Got one punch in there and then was chased out by the officials. And Mr. Moto works on Bockwinkel. Rabbit punches. Bockwinkel tags Blassie. He's been saved from trouble. And here comes Blassie in to take over with his own. Well, Bockwinkel couldn't resist the temptation to get one punch in there. Look out. Freddie Blassie drew back a big foot there. Mr. Moto didn't like that a bit. Time running out here in the third round. Top wrist lock. Top wrist lock by Mr. Moto on Freddie Blassie. Freddie Blassie trying to shake himself out of trouble here with a few punches. He's going off balance and down. And there he goes. Shooting on the back of his head once again. Comes in and gives Mr. Moto a surprise. Look out. Mr. Moto's fork judo cuts to the throat are a little bit too much for Freddie Blassie. Rabbit punches. All legal maneuvers. Moto grabbed hair there for an instant, and the referees leaped in to remind him, you just don't do that. Mr. Moto's putting on his famous sleeper hold. Let's see if Freddie Blassie can take it or not. Mr. Moto's sleeper hold is working, and Freddie Blassie is trying to fight himself out of this. This is a hold, of course, that produces a brief period of unconsciousness if applied long enough. And Mr. Moto isn't able to make it work. Especially after that and that. And Mr. Moto trying to stagger over to the champ, couldn't even make it there. With a heel, he goes across the ring. Freddie Blassie again sends him back the other way. And drives one in the midsection. Down goes Mr. Moto. 1, 2. The champ rushed in, but Mr. Moto had rolled up onto one shoulder. He's topside down. He's putting on his sleeper hold on Freddie Blassie. But they say it is a chokehold this time. The hand across the throat. Mr. Moto's had enough. Well, the champ had an idea, too, and he is starting to work, using the heel of the hand. Freddie Blassie's in trouble, and over there is Mr. Moto. Do a little something else as Warren Bockwinkel would like to come over and help if he needs to. There's been a tag. Mr. Moto is in now, replacing the champ. But since Freddie Blassie's off balance in the corner, Mr. Moto will have to give him a chance to move out into the ring. A go behind and a full Nelson. Look at that. And a tag for Warren Bockwinkel to come in. Forearm smashes, 2 of them. Mr. Moto is really shaken up. Here we go again. A tag. Freddie Blassie We might get our... Mitsumoto can't find him, and a tackle drops him. Another one. As he snaps him with the mare. Look at that hatchet cut across the throat. Mitsumoto on top for 1, 2, and 3. And our main event has come to an end.
One moment, please. In the time of 10 minutes, 6 seconds of the third round, taking the third fall, and the winners of the match, Joe Pazendak and Mr. Moto.